Welcome to Hate to Weight, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Good generic time of the day, Emily.
Oh, we're going with little Libsyn's The Feed intros here. Hello, John. Good generic time of the day.
Yeah, I was going to go good morning, but you know, when this is a podcast, they can listen to it morning, night. You know, a lot of times if I can't sleep, I'll throw this on and just kind of have it going in the background so I can listen to how it sounds. So yes, so I should just say hello, Emily. But today there must be something in the air today because we've already had issues.
We have, well, like everything's in retrograde.
It must be.
Just saying.
It must be.
Hello, friends in the chat. Right now we're recording on July 4th. So for our American friends, many of you are off. We're not sure how many people are coming into the chat. I'm sure many of them are busy preparing.
Doing stuff, getting ready to break their diets. But guess what? On 4th of July, if you're an American, I guess anywhere, if you want to, you can take a day. You know, it's not going to kill you, right?
Well, for me, intermittent fasting, it's so easy to do every day for me. So it doesn't really matter as long as it's in my eating window. I think it's easy for me because I'm also not a big drinker anymore. So drinking into the night doesn't appeal to me as much. I got old and hangovers really started to bother me. So I had to make that tough decision and say, hey, you know what? I don't want to eat or drink things that make me feel like crap anymore.
You know what goes good with wings and barbecue? Iced tea. Because I don't have to drink beer with that.
Yeah, there you go.
So, how was your week?
I had a fairly uneventful week.
That's not true. I follow you on Instagram. How can you say you had a fairly uneventful week?
So I had an uneventful week as far as dieting goes.
Okay.
Yeah, when I say uneventful on here, I mean as far as dieting goes. It's like, okay, here are my 6 or 8 hours of a window. I got my vegetables. The only thing I realized yesterday, this was what impacted my diet this week, because I was traveling. I was going around. I was in New York City on Saturday. I didn't really have to adjust my window much for that because most of my activities were during the day. And any eating was done fairly within my window. I didn't have a problem. But yesterday was the day I decided to do all those little reminder tasks, tiny things that I kept putting off, like the things that just accumulate. And you're like, well, they take 10 minutes. Okay, if I don't do it today, it's not a big deal. There isn't a hard or fast deadline for them. And I decided that yesterday, when I had a nice lull in my schedule of editing, I was going to do all of those. And I even went to the library to do them so I wasn't distracted. It weirdly was a mistake because I did them all, and I did them all in 2 hours. And I actually made a list of all the things that I did. I had Post-it notes that I was moving over from one side to the other when they were done. It felt so good. And then when I looked at the clock and it had only been 2 hours and I had done all those tiny little things, I was exhausted, and it was maybe 3 o'clock, and I couldn't figure out why. I can't think anymore. My brain is mush. I had major decision fatigue, and I think that's something that as dieters, we have to watch out for. Because when we have decision fatigue, it means we've been making too many decisions. It's why you hear people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, their closets are basically cartoon character closets where you open it up and it's the same thing every day. They're stopping themselves from having decision fatigue about what am I going to wear, because they want to be able to grab something without thinking about it. And especially for people with ADHD, like John and I have, decision fatigue can wear us out by 3 o'clock. And that was pretty much those tiny little things I was doing all day. It was a lot of decision making. It was a lot of emails and figuring out what I had to say. There was one that was a really long interview that I wanted to get deep and really thoughtful about. And by 3 o'clock, my brain was mush. I could not make any more decisions that day. So it was interesting because I was thinking about recording today, and I was like, well, I normally want to set up my Wednesday so that I have a good Thursday to come into recording with. I don't want to come in and just start complaining that I had a bad week because I just had a bad Wednesday. So when I realized that my brain was kind of mush by 3:00, I was like, okay, I haven't done dinner. I haven't thought about dinner yet. I could make a really easy decision and just go with pizza or go with takeout. Or I could get in the car and go to Whole Foods and kind of just pick something out. I knew Whole Foods was safe. Pretty much if I go to Whole Foods and pick something out, even if it's crap, I feel better about it because it's from Whole Foods. You know, I'm kind of paying the extra money to assuage my guilt, and I'm okay with that, even if it's fake. So I went to Whole Foods. We got some dinner. My son actually picked out cheese crackers that he really liked. And I was like, wow, they're gluten-free? Dude, like, you're awesome. So did that, got home, and then realized it's time for an early night. So I don't know. It's something that I want people to be aware of that exists, is decision fatigue. Because even if you're not working for yourself or you have all these deadlines and stuff, as a dieter, decision fatigue happens. Have you ever gotten to dinner and you're like, I made great choices for breakfast, I made great choices for lunch, and now my brain does not want to decide anymore and I want something easy for dinner. I was good for so long, I don't want to do this anymore.
That was called yesterday for me. Yeah, no, exactly. And the same thing, decision fatigue, as far as if you don't have good stuff in the house to eat.
Yes, that kills it. That really kills it.
It does,
yeah.
and I'm so guilty of that. So guilty of, not dude cooking enough and not Instapotting enough. I really don't have any excuses except stupidity and laziness is where I'm going with it now, because I have things here that I can cook, and I did it the other day, and it was great, and it tasted good, and I was like, why don't I do this more often? And I just don't have an excuse except maybe I'll bring the Instapot down here so I can watch it, because I'm afraid that if I, because I'll tell you, one time I put a bunch of chicken in there and I forgot about it. And let me tell you something, you Instapot a chicken for like an hour and a half. Gosh. It's really not that good.
I forgot that there was rice in my Instapot once for a week.
Oh,
it was disgusting. It was so gross. I had to make my husband clean it out. I was like, I cannot do this. It was moldy and
I know. I did this. I walked in the kitchen the other day. I goes, what is that smell? I can't remember what this smell. I'm sniffing. I go over to the microwave. I open up the microwave. I put Brussels sprouts in there. I have the microwavable, frozen from a bag. Just put the bag in there and you hit it.
Yeah.
It must have been in there for a week. I was like, when did I have them in there? I don't remember even putting them in there. Good day, especially Brussels sprouts. They smell like crap on a good day.
I was going to say, how did you not smell them when they were done? They make my whole house smell.
I have no idea. I've had a fly in my studio for 1 week, and he landed on my arm today, and he says, oh, he's talking. He's too slow. Dude, I just got him today.
Yay!
He was a biggin. So, yeah, just having that, being able to Instapot. And I'll tell you another thing, too. I do better when I have someone with me or someone around me. For some reason, when I'm by myself, I'm really in screw it mode. Yeah. And if I had someone here and they would say, what are we doing for dinner? Oh, let me get the chicken and get it in the Instapot. Because like I said, I went to Walmart. That's my Whole Foods. And I got boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And I put them in the Instapot. And you can do, I think it's like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and then 10 minutes after that. So it's like 22 minutes. I had 3 of them in there. You bring them out, and then you let them sit for a couple minutes. And then what I did was I have some barbecue sauce. I just put little bit of barbecue sauce on them. And they were fantastic. They were amazing. And I was like, I don't know why I don't do this every day. And then throw a microwave thing of vegetables in there, and I'm done. Because I am doing the 2 shake replacement meals. Breakfast and lunch are shake replacement meals, and dinner is dinner.
And for those who don't know, this is John getting ready for bariatric surgery, where he has to have a liquid diet for 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. Is that?
This is John just taking care of decision fatigue.
Yeah,
because like in the morning, well, all right, what am I going to eat for breakfast? What am I going to eat for lunch? What am I going to eat for dinner? I don't have to worry about breakfast and lunch. It's right here in the refrigerator. Okay, when I come down here, I grab 2 waters and 2 of the breakfast, because I drink 2 and 2. So I grab 2 waters and 2 of the replace meal drinks, and that's breakfast right there. And I can do that, take my medication and all. So there's no fatigue. It's become a habit.
Well, here's the funny thing with our brains, though, and you and I both have ADHD, and this is something where we rebel against that, though.
Yeah, we do.
It's so weird. We know that when we avoid decision fatigue, we're happier, we're lighter, we have more room to think about other things, to not worry about that, to actually have energy throughout the day. And then our brain is like, this is too easy. What are you doing? We're bored.
I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. Let's rebel and see if you can go back. And for some reason, our brains love that. They love testing us and seeing us go back and seeing if we can go back. And if we don't go back, all of a sudden, then our ego kicks in and it's like, you can't do this. You can't do this.
Honestly, I'm a bit of a bad boy. I'm a bit of a rebel. I go against the grain. I go against. You make a rule. I'm like, that rule's not for John. That's not a John rule. That's a your rule. I'm not going to, I don't want to say that. I don't mean it like I'm a bad boy as far as like I think I'm a bad boy or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that, here's a rule. Okay. I'm not following that.
Yeah.
There'll be some time. I remember when I used to work in the elevator business and they would come in and they say, okay, from now on, we're doing this. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. And I would spend more time and energy to get around the rule
right
than to do the rule. Yeah. And I'm doing it now. What's wrong with me?
This is our brain. And you know what it is this new rule means change, or this new thing means change for us. And even though it could be really good for us and something that we like, our bodies are still like, change is bad. I want to quote unquote, protect you. Let's go back to how we've always done it, because we know that that's safe, even if it's not effective. And our brain, like, it's like we're trying to tell our brains, like, it's okay. This is good for us. But our brain is like, no, change is scary. No.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's actually comfortable until something happens in your life and snaps you into reality where you can't. It's like, oh my God, this is serious. I got to knock it off and do something. So
right, when you can't avoid it anymore.
Exactly. So yeah. So have you been? So how? Besides that, I mean, the one day that you got the stuff, you went to Whole Foods, you got dinner and cooked dinner, and that was good.
Yeah, and I finished my day, and the funny thing was, I was like, I was so bored of my food today. And for some reason, I was like, that's not a bad thing. I had to tell myself that's not a bad thing if you're bored with your food for one day. I don't know why I'm trying to make every day like this special food day. It's like, no, just nourish yourself. You have other things to worry about than having a great food day, like food-wise or meal-wise.
Do you think a lot of it's the social media that we surround ourselves with, or we're encased in, where everybody's having their best day? Oh, look, we're having our best day. Oh, I'm here. I'm there.
Well, it's funny. That's kind of what I'm using social media at this point for, because I like highlighting. I like being able to be more mindful. And actually, I've seen that on Instagram, where people on Instagram have gotten more mindful because they're looking for these moments to share with people of, hey, I'm having a really good day. And so when they happen to come into these moments of, oh, I'm going in the hot tub. Wait a minute. I should really enjoy the fact that I'm taking some time for myself and going into the hot tub. And so they take a picture, they post it on Instagram, and it's kind of their way of reminding themselves, but also showing others that, hey, let's be mindful about these moments. Let's actually enjoy them instead of saying, oh, my summer was terrible, I didn't do anything. No, now I can look through my Instagram and be like, no, I had great times in that moment, that was with my kids, all that stuff. I don't know.
See, with me, I'm the opposite. I feel like if I share stuff like that, I feel like I'm bragging. So I share the other stuff. Like yesterday, I was down here. I have not been out of the house a whole lot this week. So I finally said, you know what? It's not bad outside. Let me just go grab dinner. Bad mistake. And then I'm going to go down to the river, eat dinner, and just kind of kick back, listen to a podcast as I do. And there was a nice breeze blowing in, and I kind of just nodded off and taking a good old truck nap as I do.
Yeah.
And I woke up with like someone spraying me with a hose. Here, a thunderstorm had appeared, and I didn't see it coming. And it was started pouring in the window. So, and when I looked on the radar from I have the weather app on my phone, when I looked on the radar, it was like a strip that was like 100 yards wide, but it was right over the truck. And it was like 3 or 4 miles long. And it just poured and poured. And I could see sun on one side and sun on the other side, but it was just pouring on me. And instead of like, it's like, hey, why don't I just drive over where the rain ain't? I took my camera out. I'm like, hey, look, sun over here, sun over, come on over here.
I thought it was interesting. And I think I like moments like that. I think that's why Instagram's my jam, is because I feel like there's more of that sort of stuff going on where people are showing really interesting things in their lives. Rather than, sometimes on Facebook, it can seem a little, I feel like Facebook might be a little more braggy than Instagram in a weird way. Because on Facebook, it's like, I never hear from this person until they go on vacation, and then I see all their vacation photos. But I guess they're using Facebook for the same reason I am, so I can't complain at all. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's an interesting line that we're all kind of learning, because social media is still so brand new, about like, is this bragging or is this being mindful and taking advantage of the moment? I don't know.
Like I said, I definitely have to think about this whole thing of decision fatigue, because for me, it's really real. It's one of my biggest, and I don't think about it enough. I don't realize that that decision fatigue is what I'm going through at the time.
Yeah, when I actually, losing weight has made me very, very cognizant of decision fatigue, especially when it comes to clothing and how much time I was putting into getting dressed to go nowhere. Because I work at home. If I do go out, I'm going to Target. Are they really expecting me to wear matching socks with a matching sweater? No, nobody cares about that except for me. And do I need to be caring that much about it? No, probably not. Probably not as much as I was. And I was using that decision making part of my brain really early in the day, where I should be making important decisions, but instead it's about my clothes. It's like, no, I need to stop. I need to figure out, what's actually worth that decision part of my brain.
So for me, I try to get dressed where people won't notice me. Like, I'm not putting on matching socks that would match my shirt or something. I don't want to be like, if I could wear an invisible cloak and go out, that's what I would wear. Because I don't want to draw attention to myself at all.
See, I would too, but I think that's why I get as coordinated as I do, is because I don't want to stick out for something that I'm not supposed to be wearing.
Oh, I'm saying, it's like, oh my God, look at that top with those socks.
Yeah. Oh, really? For me, it's just like, oh my God, they'll notice if my socks don't match my sweater. No, I'm not. That's
no, that's what I'm
crazy as
saying.
that.
No, I'm saying that's exactly what I was actually agreeing with you. Yeah. It's like, why would you wear that top with those socks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, now it's like, oh, look at those socks with that top. That's cute. Instead of something like that. Yeah.
And honestly, the other thing I have to remember is nobody cares, because they're all so concerned about what they're wearing.
Yeah.
Everybody is so concerned with themselves and how other people perceive them, but they don't realize that how other people perceive them is they most likely don't because
care.
They're also so concerned with themselves. And it's one of those things that I'm slowly learning and coming to terms with. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Everyone's going to say, like, getting a run in my stocking, that used to ruin my whole day. And maybe one or two people would notice, and they would also maybe understand that stockings are terrible and they get runs in them. So
I wouldn't even be able to put them on without putting a hole in one of them.
Exactly. I think, and we're spending this time and we're spending this brain power, especially with decision fatigue, of deciding these things and trying to get everything right. And we don't have to.
Absolutely. Oh, good. Wow. Look at you with a great topic.
All I have on the sticky note for today is hate to wait decision fatigue, because that was seriously my day yesterday. And it really it also affected me. I should say this also, because it is Shark Week. So it affected me because yesterday was just the end of PMS, the day of just don't talk to me. So, of course, decision fatigue was going to affect me more yesterday.
Ah.
So there's that. But it does affect me on most other days as well. If I don't notice it, as soon as I'm conscious of it, as soon as I'm conscious that I've been making a lot of decisions, I can kind of stop, take stock, and then once I realized what happened, I mapped out the rest of my day so I didn't have to make any more decisions. I looked at my to-do list and I said, okay, I have to get this done, this done, this done. I'm going to actually time block. I'm going to do this from 6 to 7. I'm going to do this from 7 to 8. I'm going to do this from 8 to 9. And you would think that I wanted to rebel against that structure, but I kept telling myself, if I want to go to bed at 11 o'clock, which I really, really do, I haven't gone to bed early in many, many days. I would like to do that. I have to stick to the schedule. If this isn't on my schedule, if it's going to distract me from this schedule, I can't do it. I had to set those boundaries for myself.
That's a great idea. I think I'm going to try to implement some of that in my life too, because I've had a bit of a week myself.
Yes, let's talk about your week. How's your week going?
So when like I said, remember I told you I was having problems with swelling in my legs and I was going to the doctors for this. Well, it wasn't getting better. In fact, it was getting worse. And it got to the point where it was scaring me, where I was getting the skin was breaking in new places and they were trying to. And a lot of that has to do with not taking the whooshy pill, because the whooshy pill makes you pee. But the whooshy pill gets rid of all this fluid, which is what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Now,
I'm going to come clean with something that I never said before. And when I told Sam the other night, I got a look like, are you kidding me? I'm supposed to take that pill twice a day. Not once a day, twice a day. And there were some times when I wasn't taking it at all. So when my legs swelled up like 2 balloons, no wonder. So I don't know if you could hear it in my voice, but my voice is a little dry. And I'm having problems because I'm turning the mic off because I got to clear my throat and everything. So I've been taking this whooshy pill 2 times a day. And it really has affected everything, because for some reason, when it loves to work, is between the hours of midnight and 6 in the morning.
Oh, no.
It's horrible. I can't. It's so hard to get sleep, and I'm every hour I'm up and then to the bathroom and then back trying to get to sleep again, and then maybe I get 45 minutes and then up and then but from the hours, all of a sudden at 6 o'clock it stops. So from 6 o'clock until like 9:30, I get my best sleep.
Yeah.
But that's when everybody else's day starts. So my phone starts ringing and all. So I've shut the phone off, and I'm trying to get those 3 or 4 hours of just good sleep.
Yeah, you have to.
And I've been drinking water like crazy, trying to go through the whole thing. So, and the other thing was that I can't wrap my own leg. I can't do my own legs because I can't reach where these things are. And I think a lot of this problem started because I sleep in that recliner, and there's pressure points where these wounds started, were pressure points where my legs rest on the chair.
Wait, you sleep in a recliner?
Yeah, I sleep in a recliner because for some reason my back hurts when I try to sleep in a bed. Now I have been able to.
But you just got a new bed, didn't you?
I bought it. Yeah, I bought, but so I had to put a wedge. I bought this thing off of Amazon. It's like a wedge that you can sleep where it elevates your back, because if I lay flat on my back, it hurts my back. If I lay on my sides, it hurts my back. So I have to sit like in some kind of a wedge, which is not good for my legs. My legs are supposed to be elevated.
Yeah.
So we go through this whole thing. Now, my youngest daughter, she's a godsend. She's my angel. She has been coming over in the morning, and she's been coming over at night, and she's been changing the bandages. We're going through this whole thing. And I would go in there, like when I went to go to the doctors, and I would go in there and they would take these things off. They would just take them off and throw them in the trash. She goes, these things are like baby diapers. That's how much water was leaking. I mean, I could feel it running down my legs. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was scary, because if they start to connect, all those things start to connect. It's very, very hard to heal them at that time. I'm actually going to a wound care specialist. Like if you had a diabetic wound, or if you had a, what are they called? Bed sores or something like that. That's where I'm at. So right now, from my ankles to my knees are wrapped with ace bandages. So it looks like I sprained both my ankle or both my legs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. And then I have to wear, like I had to take sweatpants and cut them off into shorts so I can get them up and down and over my legs.
Yeah.
So I'm not going out anywhere looking like this. This is horrible.
Yeah.
But thank God my daughter's here so she can help me get them done. And she does a great job. I mean, she's done an amazing job. But so I started taking the whooshy pill twice a day. When they first started doing this, I would have to change them. We would take them off, they were completely soaked. Now, today is actually like a day and a half, and they're not that bad. So it has calmed down. The swelling has went down some. The weeping has went down some. But still, it's a constant fight right now. And this is all because of my weight. If my weight went down, so I'm thinking to myself, now this Tuesday, I got to go back to the dietitian and then go through this whole thing. And I now have to go into the dietitian with these legs like this, with the wrapping and everything. And I'm just like, again, remember what I said? I'm just doing what I'm told. I'm not. Right. I'm just doing as I'm told. Sometimes. Every once in a while, I rebel, like yesterday. Like yesterday when I went to go, I said, I'm going to go get something to eat. Well, what am I going to eat? What do you think of it? I went to Taco Bell, but I got tacos this time, which isn't really, tacos at Taco Bell are really not that bad. So I got a couple tacos and I went down to the thing and it was fine. So, but it's still, I shouldn't be eating that much sodium, but these are points in your life that if you don't take care of yourself, if you keep ignoring this, that sooner or later, there's going to be a point where you can't, I used to be able to lose weight when I was your age, young lady. I could lose 20, 30, 40 pounds in 2 months. It was like no big deal. Yeah. And I just never would do it. Now, at my age, I can't anymore. When I had this happen before, they wrapped these legs like in 3 weeks, everything was fine, and I could take the wrapping off and everything was fine again. Now, it's been 3 weeks, and we're just starting to turn this around. So I can see that every time that I don't take care of myself and something happens, it takes longer to try to heal it. If at all, if I could ever heal it, maybe what happens if it does next time, it doesn't. So this has been a really, really big wake-up call for me. So taking the medication, they put me on antibiotics too because they thought that some of it was infected. So they thought maybe that would be part of the problem, which it might have been. And now things are starting to turn around. But for a while there, it was kind of touch and go of where, how I was going to, what I was going to. I thought, honestly, let's see, when did I go to the doctors? Tuesday? I thought Tuesday they were going to put me in a hospital and put me on IV diuretics to take care of this.
So I thought it was really interesting. One of the things you were saying is that you're realizing how much time this is taking now away from you, instead of what you should have been doing before, which was more of an inconvenience, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now it's like you have to do this.
That's right.
You have to. This isn't you get to. This is
right. You have to.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing about it is that I'm very smug. Like, oh, this doesn't really apply to me, or that I know better than what they're saying. And a lot of times I don't. Not a lot of times. All the time I don't. And just to sit down and just listen to what they're saying and do what they say, and things start to turn around. And I'm lucky this time because things are starting to turn around so far. And, and I'm lucky that I have help, because I'll tell you right now, if I didn't have help, this would be a nightmare, because I wouldn't be able to do this. And these things would be open. And the next thing you know, if they get infected, now I'm down a whole nother rabbit hole trying to straighten this out. So I do feel blessed that I have the resources and the ability to have this taken care of. I have no one to blame but myself. Not that you need to blame yourself for this, but this has been a long time coming. And now I guess if you've been speeding all the time, running around speeding, you never got caught, and you just get and you just feel like, oh, well, you know what? It's fine. Because I don't get caught. I don't get caught speeding.
You get cocky, yeah.
Yeah, you get cocky. And next thing you know, you get caught speeding 4 or 5 times. You're like, wow, maybe I should slow down, because this is painful. It costs, it's cost me a ton of money, and this is what's going on with me right now. So, yes, my voice is dry. Yes, I got to keep turning off the microphone so I can clear my throat, but things are starting to turn around, and when we get to the weigh-in, I have a new number. So,
yay. Well, that's exciting.
And I also want to take one of our group members and also a fellow podcaster, Lisa. She was on vacation this week, and she's had some heart issues. So she is she's out of province, She's, where her family grew up. She's in Ottawa, Ontario. God, I don't know my Canadian geography. And she's in the hospital right now. So my heart goes out to her because, she's going through a lot right now and it sucks.
And we wish her all the best.
Yeah, we do. And she's a big fan of this show. She's always in here and she's such a supporter of podcasters. And, like I said, it stinks when you have someone that are going through something. You feel so helpless, like you can't do anything. And Sam's there with her right now. And Sam's coming tomorrow. And I know it's going to be tough for her to leave Lisa there. Yeah. If you're still on the fence and you think you got time, you might. But you know what? There's going to be a point where you're going to have to pay for all this. And it's a lot easier to do it now than wait until you have to.
Yeah. One of the things that you're doing now, you're doing the liquid diet, even though you're not you're not fully liquid diet, but you're easing yourself into it so it's not this huge shock that comes when you absolutely have to do it. And I think that's something that really helps people out, is just easing into something. You need to exercise. Nobody's asking you to run a marathon when a doctor tells you, oh, you should get some more exercise. Just ease into it. Honest, that's the only way I kept doing yoga for so long, is I only said, oh, I just have to do it for 10 minutes. That's all I have to do a day. I don't need a whole hour-long session. Do just tiny little steps.
Yeah, I'm putting I have compression boots I'm supposed to put on 3 times a day. They're going on 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. Everything the doctor says to do, I'm doing it. And it takes time. That's the other thing. Like it's, now 6 hours of my day is now me taking care of me, where before I wasn't taking care of myself at all. And now I have to use those 6 hours. So now that's put me up against the wall with other things that I've done. I have to cut back on other things because you just can't add 6 hours to the day. Oh, by the way, today's day is going to be 30 hours instead of 24. That just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
it's tough. Good for you. You know what? I want you to keep going with that too. I want you to be able to set those boundaries that you need that time for you. Your health is very important right now because all those things that you're promising other people and you're doing for other people, John, you are one of the most generous podcasters I've ever met in my life, with time, with money, with knowledge, and you're a giver. But it's absolutely time for you to take some of that back and put it toward yourself, because we love John. We want John to be around forever.
Well, thank you. And you know what even affected me with you? Tuesday night, we do a show about podcasting, and I just sat down and I was like, at the end of the day, and I had the boots on and everything. And you're like, okay, we're going live. I'm like, all right, let me get these boots off. And I'm like, I can't. I have nothing. I have nothing in the tank. I would have just sat there and looked at you, which would have been worse.
Yeah.
It would have been worse for me to come down and try to go through that. And I was like, I got nothing right now. I'm empty. I got nothing in the tank. I completely forgot about it. And I didn't tell you that I was sitting there, with boots, big giant compression boots on and going through this.
With the fur. Yeah. I got it. You got your apple bottom jeans on. It's fine.
Yes.
Everyone, please have that mental picture right now, John.
Trying to get it out of my mind.
We need someone who's good at Bitmojis to make that, please. John in boots with the fur.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I should put fur on these things. Now I better not. My furry compression boots.
No, but I was glad you did that, because I had one of those. Tuesday was a weird day for me, too, where it was that was the only thing I had to do that night. It was my first day off in probably 10 days because everyone got ahead for the 4th of July. And now all of my clients are getting ahead because I'm going away at the end of the month. So yeah, it was really nice when you were just like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry I can't do it. I was like, thank you. That was the excuse I needed because I didn't want to do it either.
My favorite plans are canceled plans.
Yes, they are.
All right, why don't we do some Winning Wednesdays?
Yes, before we do that, we keep forgetting to mention in our group right now, our buddy Mark, we talked about this 3 episodes ago. We made jokes about we need a shirt with our slogan of 2 + 2 = chicken, which is podcast math, which is us trying to do math while we're live. And our buddy Mark from podcastbranding.co, he made t-shirts for us. And we are so thankful. He not only made the 2 + 2 = a very cute looking chicken, he also made ones I have to look at them because there was one, it was like Feast.
I'm trying to remember what they are. See, okay, so while you're looking, you look them up.
Yes,
okay.
I will look.
So I'm going to tell the story. So I'm like, I got to get me one of them. And they only go up to 3X. Well, I'm bigger than 3X. I can't wear one of those shirts. So now it's my mission in life to get down to where I can wear a 2 + 2 = chicken shirt.
We have Fast Feast Repeat on a shirt. And there's also the 16-8, 18-6, 24. What's your window? Which is, we talk a lot about intermittent fasting. And with intermittent fasting, you fast for 16, 18, or 20 hours. And then you have an 8-hour, 6-hour, or 4-hour eating window during the day where you can basically, when I started off, shovel everything you can into your mouth for 8 hours and then weirdly lose weight on it. And then your appetite corrects. That's a very short, succinct version of intermittent fasting. There's more to it, and we've talked about it in past episodes if this is the first time you're tuning in. But so we have these shirts. They're amazing. They're in different styles. There are tank tops. They're long sleeve. There are women's V-necks, which is what I'm probably going to get. They're fantastic. And there have been links in the show notes. There's going to be a link in the show notes this week. Last week there was. The week before that there was. So if you're listening to past episodes, definitely check those out. They're over on Amazon. They're Prime. So you can have them in 2 days, I think.
Free shipping.
Free shipping if you have Prime. So yeah, they look great. Thank you so much, Mark. And if you need any, I feel like I should give him a plug too, because he did these absolutely for free for us. But if you need any graphic design, if you're a podcaster, if you're a business person, you need graphic design for any of that, talk to Mark. He's your man. Yeah,
and that's what's the name of his website again? Because I always forget.
There's Resourceful Designer. He does that podcast. I think he is at resourcefuldesigner.com or the.
Okay.
Again, the link will be in the show notes. Whenever we talk about links, they'll be in the show notes. Don't worry about it, guys. If you're listening on your podcast app, you can either swipe up, you can click the show art, depending on how you get to those show notes app, and easy clickable link right there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Winning Wednesdays.
Winning Wednesday. Winning Wednesday. Winning Wednesday. Winning Wednesday. Winning Wednesday.
So, Winning Wednesday, Dave, I guess because it was a new month and I just swept June under the carpet, I've been hyper-focused and getting more sleep. And 3 days in a row, the scale has gone down. If I'm sleeping, I'm not eating.
That is definitely true. Scott says, short one, more running, healthy food, good scale number. Happy 4th.
Yay! Annette says a non-scale victory this week, away on holiday and the temps are ridiculously high, so the weekly steppage is down. However, I've been swimming daily and managed 30 lengths today. I figure if I continue this once I'm home again, I could see some reduction of the elephant ears to just bat wings. Oh, Annette. I still call them my hi Helens. Hi Helens.
It's true. Tamara says no scale victory this week because of Shark Week, but 2 non-scale victories. I won the Weekend Warrior Challenge with Fitbit friends and unlocked the pole-to-pole Fitbit Challenge for competing 12,430 lifetime miles.
Wow. That's awesome.
That is great.
Yeah. Shane says my running training is still going great. Last week I hit every training day and logged 14 miles running. This week I am on course to hit every training day, and at the end of it, I will have run 15.7 miles. Still no scale, but my pants feel looser, and I know I'm a few extra belt notches in. These final 40 pounds don't stand a chance. Oh, I love that. He's so enthusiastic. Yay!
Victoria says, I'm finally back down to my pre-holiday weight. My holiday was a month ago. So what? There you are. You're back again. No big deal, right? Non-scale victory. I'm enjoying walking so much now.
Amy, I'm feeling tiny. Some podcast math for y'all. I'm down 3.5 pounds this week. That's almost 17 pounds total in 10 weeks. I've gone from obese to overweight. Another 13 pounds and I'll be normal weight. I'm short, 5'2". So a few pounds makes a big difference. Yeah. Oh, it does. Yeah.
That's great, Amy. Mindy says, I have a new second number.
Yay! That's my favorite. Deborah, yesterday my steps finally reached over 10K, and today my steps are over 14K. Wow! Wow. That is a lot of walking.
Brendan says, not a victory yet. Started tracking my sleep this week, looking to improve the quality of my sleep over the next couple of weeks.
I love that. Sleep is kind of a theme now for people. I like that.
That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Sleep is a big deal. Trust me, I know now.
You know now. Elaine says, a coworker asked how many dress sizes I went down to, and we started talking about online shopping and being careful about sizing when she said she had ordered something in the same size I wore. I had to do a double take. It's a weird feeling to see someone who wears the same size as you, and you see yourself from a different perspective. Oh my goodness, yes!
How about that?
Yeah.
So congratulations, everyone. You guys have been doing great.
Yeah.
Very, very happy with everyone in the group. It's amazing.
I know. I love this group so much. I love the Winning Wednesdays. I was so glad I remembered to schedule that to post because we had weird Facebook problems yesterday, but
I think if we didn't, they would revolt, come in and make their own post.
I know. I do get messages. I remember there was one week Jason in our group was like, Emily, where's the Winning Wednesday? I have one right here. So sweet.
All right. Well, you know what that means.
Oh, I'm here.
Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
The weigh-in. It's an odd week. I said earlier that it's Shark Week. I'm up a pound. I'm fine with it because I was on the scale Monday. Oh, that scale number, John. I wanted to take a picture of it. I was like, I'm so happy. So the fact that I'm up a pound now, I don't care because I saw that lower number. I know it's coming. Oh, I'm so happy.
Okay. Well, that's good. And again, Shark Week, you used to go up remember we used to go up 2 pounds?
I know. Well, I don't know. This has been the past few months where it's been like only up 1 or up 0. But then there was that weird fluke like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago that had nothing to do with sharks or hormones or anything. And I was just up 3 and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to let it coast. And then the next week, as soon as I stopped worrying so much about it, boom, it went down 4. So
again, and I don't know how to fix this. But when we first started this podcast, we really focused on the scale a ton. I did things that I wasn't supposed to do just to make that scale. I was trying to game the system, all that. Now, 61 weeks later, I would love to have another way of being able to weigh or have a different way of measurement of success. But the thing about it is that the measurement of success is that we're still continuing to do things. We're still looking inward to see where our issues are and changing things. And I've changed more in this past year about trying to lose weight than if I would have done this 10 years ago,
yeah,
I would have been so much further on in this process. I don't feel like, in other words, the dieting and all that, that's one thing. But for me, in these past, from the beginning of the show till now, my mental, the way I look at weight loss, the way I look at this has really changed in a way that I never expected. So for me, that's where this improvement is. Yes, we get on the scale because it tells us it's a measurement of mass is basically what it is. But that's all it is. And it doesn't mean that we had a good week or a bad week because sometimes some of the best weeks I've had didn't show up on the scale.
Yeah.
So there we go.
That is this week's Johnspiration.
Okay.
Because that's so good because we don't have any, it's not that we can track all the things that we've learned on a graph. We can't see, oh, well, this week I learned a lot of lessons. This week, not so much. It's harder to track that. This is something that we can track. And I don't necessarily look at weigh-ins as a week-to-week thing. I have all of our numbers laid out from the beginning of the show that I can flip through easily on my desk to be like, well, in episode 7, I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now. And I remember episode 7, what we were talking about. And we were more talking about the food we were eating and maybe how to diet. Now we're more talking about our mindset and the things outside of dieting where we're not thinking about food, where we're not thinking about what am I going to eat next? When am I going to move next? Now, I mean, we're having conversations about like decision fatigue that affects not just dieting, not just that portion of our lives, but how it really works, kind of a more holistic view of dieting. So yeah, I really like that. I love that. And we can't track that unless you listen to us from the beginning. And at this point, that's 61 episodes. That's like a week of listening to us.
And the reason I'm saying all this is because I'm down 12 pounds this week.
Holy
Now there's a reaction. I got her with a mouthful of water.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
Wow.
okay, so I'm down 12 pounds that week, but I didn't lose 12 pounds of fat. There's no way. I didn't lose that. What happened was I was filling up with fluid, and fluid weighs. It's mass.
Yeah.
So I lost basically 1.75 gallons of fluid. Just like Emily did when she spit it across the monitor.
I turned. At least I turned.
She did a spit take. I've never had anybody do a spit take before.
You're welcome. I'm afraid to drink now. I really want water, but I'm like, I'm so impressed. Is he gonna tell me something?
No,
else?
that's it. That's the big thing. But again, I start taking the whooshy pill. I'm putting the boots on, and I'm doing the shakes. But I'm really, here's the thing. I can tell this shirt is hanging on me right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got the pants, the sweatpants that I put on, I have to tighten them up because they're just too loose. They're falling off of me. And also, I got to tell you, my legs must have weighed, 55 pounds each. Each calf was huge. And now that they're down, I can move better somewhat.
Yeah.
The problem with the compression boots, and I'm not complaining, it is what it is I have bad knees. So what they do is they compress. So it's like having a sprained ankle and someone grabbing your ankle and every, minute going, squeezing it.
Yeah.
So it hurts like heck when I take them off for, 5 or 10 minutes after I get them off. But, sometimes I put some ice on them. But, it's just something that has to be done. And I don't care. So there you go.
Yeah. That's so great. Oh my God. I'm in shock.
I know.
John, you're incredible.
No, I'm not incredible. I took pills. Looked at the pills and said, maybe we should start using, it says twice a day. Why don't we just start doing twice a day?
I think you're incredible
Oh,
because
thank you, but
you're following instructions.
yeah. Oh,
and
look at you. You're a big boy now. You're almost 60 years old and now you're able to follow instructions.
That's hard for us. We have ADHD. That's not in our vocabulary of seeing something laid out and doing it step by step. Our way is, hey, there's an easy 1, 2, 3 process for this. Let's make it 40 steps just to be fun and to add some flourish to it and be late.
Now, so
Yay!
it can be done. Like I said.
Do.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Happy.
Hey, John, here's the thing. If you listen to what people tell you, maybe it'll start to work out for you. Maybe you're not so smart after all. Maybe you don't know my father used to say, maybe you don't know every dang thing in the world. So,
Like you're still trying to work clean and
well, yeah,
don't have to on here, but you're used to it for your other podcast.
Right.
You're used to working clean.
That's
That's
true.
fine.
My father used to say, maybe you don't know every goddamn thing in the world. All right, Dad. That was
All
right.
So
So there we go.
we are officially at our lowest
Yeah.
that we've been. 5 months after, we're just like, we don't have any other way to measure. We shouldn't be doing the scale. But meanwhile, I'm just like, we're down to 88 pounds together, John.
Yeah, I know. And
It's still something to celebrate.
it is.
Mhm.
But you know what, to me, I'm not even, so okay, so I'm just going to do this real quick. So for me, it's not about the weight loss anymore. It's not about the number on the scale. It's about getting mobility back and getting life skills back. That's what it is for me. It's not about the numbers on the scale. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not poo-pooing them, but I don't even care about them anymore. I really don't. Like before I came down here, I'm like, oh, let me step on the scale.
Yeah, I've been forgetting more, which is a nice thing. If you can forget to get on the scale every
Right.
few days, that's kind of a nice thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, a new second number, new everything for me. I was more excited about putting a shirt on this morning and saying, wow, this thing is loose here. Or getting behind the wheel of my truck and there's like a little bit of room between my belly and the steering wheel.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing where I'm noticing it more. And to me, that for me is more of a win than the number on the scale. Listen, if you're listening to this show right now and you're like, come on, John, I understand, John, but that's not, I mean, you can, and you're younger, or even if you're my age, you can do it. This is proof. I'm the worst at this. The worst. And look at me. All you have to do is have people behind you, have some accountability, get with your people, and you can do this. And pay attention to what they're telling you. So that's my Johnspiration for this week.
I love it so much. I don't even want my track on this episode. I just want it all John.
Stop it. That's not even fair. Oh, you don't think don't you dare don't think I'm not going over there and pulling the video of me telling you that number, because that was class.
You should. Oh my goodness. I'm sure there are people in this group who know how to make GIFs. Have at it.
Oh my God, the GIF. That you will be the major GIF in this group.
You know what's funny? One of my favorite GIFs is the woman with this doing the spit take laugh. I love actually, giving that GIF to people when they really make me laugh. Did not expect to become that. I'm very happy. I think I'm even wearing the same shirt she is. So
that's hysterical. All right, everyone. We've been rambling on. Boy, I tell you what, this was only supposed to be when we started. Oh, we don't want this to go any more than a half an hour. Here we go.
Oh, I didn't know that rule, but
I know. I was just saying we were talked about that. So. Listen, if you want to join in on all the fun, very, very easy to do. Go to hate28.com/Facebook and join us. A lot of fun in the group. And also for all the information, all the links, everything we've talked about in this show, go to hate28.com. Is that correct?
yes.
Look at me. I don't even need notes anymore.
Oh my gosh. See, I still need the Trello board every single time. But yeah, good for you.
There we go. All right, everyone. Have a great week. Listen. You're not going to hear this, but if you've had an excessive 4th of July, give yourself some grace. It's not a big deal. It'll come off. All right.
Hot dogs are delicious.
Hot dogs are delicious. You know what my big thing is? You know what I'm really dying for right now? Watermelon.
Good. That's awesome.
I just want a good old-fashioned watermelon.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. I think watermelons are probably great for you. Lots of water in there.
Mm-hmm. Sure is. So, all right, everyone. We'll see you back here next week.
Bye.